it is Sunny here, just giving a wee forward on this video, just because, well, I wasn't mentally present for it. Now, I was there, I had the headset on, I was the one recording this recording. However, I was also half calm. No, I wasn't drunk, like usual, I was actually very tired. Now, I have just got a major hormone injection this week, which I get every 3 months because, if anybody's aware, I am physically ill, which is why people joke around about my womb being a joke and my needing a Terminator body in the future. But yeah, so I had been up from 4:30 for work, and then I had to go to my brother's graduation, which I guess only really happens once in a lifetime for him. So I was not allowed to rest by my family, so I was very much tired. And whenever you've been up from 4:30, you're physically ill, and it's 2 a.m. the next morning, you do tend to pass out. So I'm just going to apologise for that, because there will be times when usually my incessant gabbering and nattering and talking and Irishism fills in the gaps in the videos. Not so much this time, and I'm sorry. I can't help it. I can't help it. I'm ill, so sorry about that one, and I should probably stop gabbering now and let you get on with the recording. So, ciao ciaos. I'll see you next week, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm sure like our Facebook page and stuff. So I'll see you later. Ciao. Bye bye.
Uh, and we're back with the Bleach Wiki podcast. We're here for chapter 680. I cannot. The end 2, aka Deicide Electric Boogaloo. I'm not Zill.
I'm not Future.
Sal.
I'm not drunk.
That's a lie.
That's a
Debatable.
lie. That's a total lie. Well, not drunk. I've had a few.
You're drunk
Tired.
and drunk. So this is tired and drunk you hear talking, folks.
Yep.
Right there. Say hi, everybody.
Howdy doody. But yeah, okay, so does anyone want to have a comment first of all on the color page of this thing? I didn't realize it was a fucking color page when I first read it. It's like, what's that?
It almost looked like, to me, it almost looked like Bach was smoking weed and was just like super freaking high.
Snoop
I don't know,
Dogg?
just,
It did sort of feel
I
like
don't
an
know if
acid
it was
trip,
just
didn't it?
me, but
Like it's
it looked like
smoking
almost
out
those
of his eye.
eyes,
Yeah.
like those eyes, it's like just weed smoke coming out. Heck, even the look on his face looks like he just had a joint.
That's what I'm saying. Box Snoop Dogg in disguise. Fucking higher than a kite, man. It is weird.
It's a very weird image, and I really hate that it was just blanked out. What was the point in that? You know, oh, the end draws near. Only
Maybe they did that because that way Kubo can draw it out as long as he wants without people bitching. Like he said, it's this many chapters, and he's overgoing now, or he ended it before that. He can just, I don't know.
Well, what chapter are they on right now?
680.
680.
Many people
I
believe
think I've always said that 700 would be
that's what
the
I'm.
deal
That's what I was.
because you know if what has happened, he's pretty much just gotten rid of all the daggone fighters. So it's just him.
Yeah, that's
now.
what I was saying that I figured it'd probably end at 700. Why not? Might as well. It's
It
better.
he might pull it over a little bit past 700, but not too much.
It'd be better to end at 700 than like 685 or 693 or something. That sounds like a fucking weird way to end it. But yeah. But you're right though. He does. I'm looking at the picture of Bach. It's like, dude, this fucker looks baked.
yeah.
That's what the B is. The baked.
See,
It's
when
like-
you say that to me, I think of the bacon that people do for makeup and stuff.
Mm.
Because they have white powder all over their face.
Yeah, it's called cocaine.
No. It's a technique that you put powder on so that it doesn't ruin your foundation and whenever you're doing your makeup and stuff, your eye makeup.
I know some, but you opened a great door when you said it's white powder. I mean, that's a great.
Yeah. True.
Maybe that's what Ichigo meant when everything was fading to white. Just
Oh,
Spock was
God.
just transferring his weed
Coke.
powers to him or something.
Yeah, Ichigo was snorting a whole thing of cocaine. Then
Yeah.
You start hearing Eric Clapton playing in the background. If it's like, holy shit, Eric Clapton. Everyone did say that's what God looks like. He is.
Yeah, it does. It looks like, as if someone had white powder on Bach, but it's like mixed in with like piss or something.
Yeah,
Then it's all clumped in his hair. It's gross.
that's what makes sense.
Do you know what it is? It's a cum shot.
Oh Jesus!
Because
But yeah,
he's a 70s porn star.
yeah, Ichigo jizzed on him. That's what he's like.
Mm-mm-mm.
He's like Ichigo, my child, give me a shot. Oh,
Of cum on my face.
you just see Orihime getting pissed. Damn it, that's supposed to be me. Orihime just pushes Bach out of the way and takes it for herself. It's like, haha, Bach.
I win. I win.
Ichigo, my son, check this shit out. Just gets him super high.
But yeah, I love this. What does it say? After over 10 years of being an overwhelmingly popular series, I thought it was over 14 years.
Maybe Kubo's so high on crack he can't remember how many.
Yeah, but that was another thing that was telling about the arc, is that little thing in the beginning where it's like, okay, so you're like really read that, it catches your eye, you read it, and you're like, okay, so this is the end of the series.
He leaves and that's it.
But
I
I
think
think that's like the first time he's actually acknowledged that this is it. Like, he's effectively putting everybody on notice that it's coming to a close within these following chapters. Now, I originally said 7, but considering that 16 pages and how he likes to draw things out, it's a possibility that it'll be a little bit past 700, because he can't get anything. There's chapters where he does information, and there's chapters where he just does a whole lot of panels with nothing really being said. So I think all the information probably is done and over with.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
I really hate to say this, but when I'm looking at Bach's color page, his fucking eyes look like a fucking Mangekyo shining gun. That really irritates the fuck out of me.
No,
It's
it's
got
not. It's bloodshot from the cum.
Okay, but still, when I
He's
see
high
that,
out of his mind. Why else would they be red?
true. Wait, is that why all the Uchihas are always pissed because they're fucking stoned?
Probably.
Someone just took their big bag of weed.
Yeah, they need to take
Now
like
they have to destroy the world.
Destroy the world because we lost the fucking weed. Wait, we'll save Konoha by making a whole big bag of weed. Smoke it, man. Snoop Dogg was the founder of the Uchiha. Seems legit. I heard that he gave a guy a fucking VidCon, a fucking YouTube, his contact high just by standing near him. I'm like, well, ain't that an experience?
He was probably smoking at the time as well.
Hey.
Do you ever get that sometimes if someone's smoking it around you and you do end up a little bit kind of like from the passive? It's like, whoa.
Sitting there trying to sniff them like, come on. Like, what are you doing? Like, nothing.
Smoke weed every day.
I haven't had a kick today. I want to sniff you.
Smoke some weed, man. I need my hit. It's like,
But-
your idea of getting a hit is sniffing me?
But the chapter was basically Ichigo getting his powers absorbed and find out that Hashwolf in fact did not stab Yuri in the back for whatever reason. It's like, oh, you have the killing, you have the kill set up right for you and you don't even take it. And then he's like goes in this whole conversation with Yuri where Yuri explains, I didn't care about any of that stuff. I follow people because they're my friends and I care about them. And then that makes Hashwolf mad because Hashwolf is, as we have already determined, the kind of guy that,
Ain't got no friends.
He has no friends. Well, he killed the only friend he had.
True.
Previously. And not only that, but like he's just the most pathetic type of person. Everything is basically centered on, oh, I'm so pathetic, and this guy, he recognized the greatness in me and stuff like that. And I mean, everything about him was pathetic from the time he was a kid to like now. So now he's like he can't fathom, and it's kind of like a rehash of Yukira. Like I've seen a couple people make the kind of the connection between this arc and previous arcs and how they worked. And I mean, seems to me like they're right. A lot of the stuff that is currently happening has happened before in one way or another, and the same type of characters. Um, I really just don't understand the whole concept here. What Cooper was doing at the end, where Bach basically just walks out, opens a portal and walks through it and says, "Oh yeah, y'all can come and follow me." I'm like, didn't this shit happen already?
Is he taking him on a magical journey?
Yeah, it's just like this
Come with me to
situation happened.
Come with me to my secret weed garden.
Didn't I mean Eisen went through daggone portal and went. I mean, come on, this has happened before. Like this is so like, what was the point of? Okay, we're here at this point, and now let's go to another area. Like, come on, that wasn't necessary. I was like, it's just like it's kind of like being drawn out way too much. Um, and I guess the only one with the power to actually reverse fortune here is Yuri, but the thing that kind of like threw it off is like that whole thing at the end where everybody's like, "What the hell?" And then next thing you know, Gerard turning to a freaking skeleton, and it's like, "Oh, I don't need anybody."
Although you do know though, Sal, that means like what we were saying about the Soul King. Now he's got his heart back. I mean, Gerard died. If Bach absorbed him, that means if the Soul King's inside trying to reconnect himself, he's got his heart back.
Well, yeah, we'll see what's going to happen here.
I mean, do you agree? I mean, does that sound like
that seems to be like the thing that makes the most sense? The rebirth of the Soul King.
although he's missing his fucking legs?
Well,
you
you
know,
know,
but see,
legs,
he's got
legs don't have any, connection to anything, so he could probably just regenerate them. They probably don't mean anything like the hands and the heart and everything.
Right. But do you see what I'm saying though? When I did think that's what, hey, that was what we were talking about last week. That you were saying he needs his heart, and now that Gerard's dead, I'm like, if he just absorbed Gerard's power, like absorbed the heart back, now Soul King has his heart back with his arms.
The funny thing is, the theory actually kind of makes a whole lot of sense because when you think about it, the Soul King seemed to be, I mean, he had certain ability, soul governance and everything like that, but it seems like, for the type of being that he's supposed to be, he was very limited in a lot of ways. Couldn't even defend himself, but probably didn't want to. But it seems like, Bach's whole entire existence is not to daggone work for itself, but to basically act as a focal point to reconstitute the Soul King to a level that, I mean, look at all the daggone powers and, all the capabilities. It kind of like pretty much says it all.
Well, and I agree with you because one of the things I've thought why I think I agree with you because I think you were the one who brought it to my attention that the Soul King's inside of him trying to rebuild himself. When you think about it, too, the Soul King has Bach's ability, so clearly he's seen the future. He knew what was coming, which would explain why he didn't defend himself. I think it also loops back into the whole thing what Ichibei said to Ichigo, like, you can't beat him, but that's okay though, because that's what peace is all about.
Yeah, like there was like no intention to beat him.
Like Ichigo wasn't there to beat him, but just stall Bach for the Soul King to start rebuilding himself from the inside out. Like Bach's thinking, oh, Ichigo's my adversary. He doesn't realize the Soul King's, that's his plan all along, is Ichigo's distracting Bach, and Bach doesn't realize inside of him that the Soul King's like repairing himself.
Yeah, he thinks he's won already, and I think that's like the telling situation here is like Everybody's so content about, Ichigo's the protagonist, and they expect Ichigo to, come out there with his Bankai, and I don't know what they expected him to do, but it's just like he does not have the capability here to handle an opponent of this level. It's just not
No,
possible.
the only thing I don't want with the Soul King, if he does do that, I do not want him to become another Kaguya from Naruto in the sense that he rips apart Baku's like, oh no, I'm the villain. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope if he
Yeah,
does,
I don't. I don't think.
if he rips Bak apart, I hope he's like, surprise, motherfucker, and just like tears him apart and is like, okay, we won. And then like he heals like everybody that matters and like he fixes Ichigo's Bankai or something. I'm just saying he probably could. If he's supposed to be like a god of the Bleach universe, he could probably do something like that. But I'm just saying is if he does, I'll be pissed. Let you guys give a heads up. If he does, if he's like, oh no, I'm the villain. If that does happen, I'll be like, nope. I mean, I just don't. I don't want that to happen because some people have talked about that because there's other wikis that talks about villains and they got the Soul King listed as a villain already, and I'm like, how's he a villain? So
Yeah, but we're not we're not going down that Decker route. That's just too much. You spent too long investing in this person, and then even if you make him a villain, you still with the same situation of you
how they
can't
gonna beat him?
kill
Yeah, how you gonna beat him?
him. Like,
I don't think the Soul King's evil. I'm wondering if he could be good, but he could also be neutral. Like he doesn't really give a flying conniving fuck.
pretty much, I think that's probably the case.
He doesn't give a flying conniving fuck. Can we add that to his page? I'm joking.
I think there is no concept of good and evil. There just is. And like Urahara said, he is a necessary, and he's the necessity. Like he just is. It is what it is. Like there's no good, there's no bad, there's no right, no wrong. It's just what he is. He's what he is, and that's what the whole point is.
Right.
Like you know,
Right. The good and evil is like the Shimigami and the Quincy and Hollis, but he's beyond that.
I think that's more of a way you look at it. I mean, the Shinigami never claimed to be good or evil either. They're just there to do a job.
Well,
You know,
I mean good
the
because we
Quincy,
don't.
on the other hand, have taken upon themselves to totally destabilize existence. So,
Right.
and
Well,
then their personalities tend toward being archetypical evil or
I said the Shimigami were good.
disturbed.
I said the Shimigami were good due to the fact that while they do have a job, their duty is to protect humans, to keep existence going, and not to kill humans unless it's authorized. So I mean, like, and how Yamamoto after the war was all like, "Oh, we need to establish peace," and that. That's why I was drawing the good guy stuff from. Was that not? I understand that they were doing the job, but that's why I was drawing the conclusion from was they talk about peace and we govern existence, we keep souls, we make sure stuff like that.
Another possibility is why Ichigo's laying on the ground. The spirit, the ghost of Yamamoto appears to him and tells him to use the Force. But
That'd be funny. Yamamoto's like, Ichigo,
use
wake
the
up.
Force.
Right, Ichigo, wake up. What? I'm
or
your great 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 grandfather, and I'm here to tell you, use the Force.
or even or even worse, use the Schwartz.
Yeah.
May the power of the
Use
Schwartz.
Schwartz
May the
be
power of the Schwartz be with you.
Yamamoto's Mel Brooks all along.
Oh God. Oh God, that would be
You can beat him,
crazy.
Ichigo. There's two sides to every Schwartz.
He's got the good side. I got the bad side. That's how that works.
But that would be fucked up though. Oh shit though. You know what this means, Sal? Since we're joking about this, people are gonna turn Yamamoto appearing in front of Ichigo into some weird, bizarre fucking fan theories. It's like no, he's Mel Brooks in the discussion. He's President Schwartz.
President Scrooge.
Scrooge, that's what it is. He does the Scrooge hand. He's missing his arm, so he can't do the salute anymore.
Oh. Freaking gets teleported and gets freaking switched around so you can see his ass. His ass is in the front. He's like, what the hell?
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I do think that's the only plausible way because I also don't want I don't want Ichigo to pull some weird shit because I've always said that I don't want like Bleach to end like that. I don't want him to become a godlike.
Gachiko. You don't want
Yeah,
him to become Gachiko?
no, I don't. I don't. I
Oh.
You don't want him to become every single race at once, and then some that don't even exist.
well, when you put it that way, future. I mean,
You don't you don't want him to become a Matzo
yeah,
with
no,
the
but
powers of Nozomi and what's his name? Kanaba?
God, don't remind me of that. Don't
Inaba?
remind me of that talk. But the thing is I'm serious though. It's like I don't want Ichigo to. I don't want Kubo to go down the road, like I said, of a certain unnamed author and make Ichigo like automatically. I have the power to win now. I comprehend all
Well, wait a
universal.
minute now. Wait a minute now. What's going to actually happen is that the next chapter we're going to find out that Bach just absorbed the powers of Ichigo's Regai, and Ichigo is still still empowered, and, and
His re guy was the one taking all the
exactly,
damage.
exactly, and he was actually
He
hiding
just
behind a pillar.
no. You know what happened? He just absorbed Cone.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
That's what he did.
He
now
absorbed he absorbed the power to daggone kick real hard and be super annoying.
Jump real high.
now because of his perverted nature. Now when Orihime removes her clothes, he'll die because he absorbed Khan's power. That's his weakness.
Nosebleed
Yep.
into the
Oh.
eyes.
Yep. And then Ichigo can kill him. That Ichigo like, haha, you fool! That was my re-guy you killed. Now behold the power of my Zanpakuto, resurrection, fall standing, bound, and all. Oh, doll, that's what they had. They doll. They're like, oh shit, really? I was trying to name as many races as I could. I know I probably missed some. But it's like, I loved it though. You got people losing their shit. Oh, he's going to have a resurrection. He's going to have a fall standing. I'm like, sure, why not? Let's just give him everything.
Well,
Seems
he
a
has ginger hair. He shouldn't even have a soul.
But he does. Dun dun dun. He's a freak of a nature. He's an anomaly in existence itself. He's a ginger with a soul. My God, what does this mean?
It means he's not a natural ginger. Maybe
Well,
that's what bleach actually means.
well, in the plot, he originally
Yeah, I have to
in the
question that. A ginger with a soul. What the hell are you talking about?
in the plot though. In the plot, he had black hair, so maybe that's what it'll reveal.
Wait,
Well,
didn't we establish that he's actually a daywalker since he doesn't have freckles?
well, I don't know. See, son, you're more of an expert on soulless gingers, considering your brother is one. Isn't he marrying a Mormon? So that's even crazier.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Is he going to wear the magic underwear at his wedding?
Oh Jesus. I don't know. He's maintaining he's gonna be still atheist. So yeah.
What? He's
Mhm.
not going to believe. He's not going to believe in her fly-by-night religion created by a charlatan.
and the and the angel, that disappeared with everything. So it's only his word.
Yes. Yeah. So he had another one had to come down and give him the same thing where he used his magical spectacles, aka glasses, to read magical tablets that he found in the middle of America during the
Yeah.
1800s that had Egyptian hieroglyphics on there because Egyptians have come to the middle of America.
Oh yeah, and he was gifted tongues. He could read hieroglyphics.
Oh no, he couldn't. He had to get somebody else who, which, interestingly enough, can't that part can't even be corroborated that it was in fact real actual Egyptian hieroglyphics.
I know. It's like I just was suddenly able to read it. Hmm.
But whatever.
It wasn't chicken scratches.
Flying spaghetti monster.
Hmm.
But then again, the Quincy believe in Bach, and well, that's about as bad as believing in Bach is about as bad as earlier today on a rerun of Dr. Phil. He had a couple on who were college educated. They had 7 kids,
Hmm.
and they had no income, no lights, no heat, and we're about to lose their house, but they said it was okay because that was God's will. And I'm just sitting there thinking, it sounds to me like you need to worship somebody new.
Yeah, I get that line though. It's like, oh, pray and you'll get better, but if you don't get better, it was God's will. God works in
Yeah,
mysterious ways.
I've never liked that line of lack of reasoning. It's like, oh well, we don't have anything else to use, so let's use that. And that's essentially what I feel um, is going to be going on with. Well, I would say the Quincy's, but they're probably all dead. So considering that he apparently just, you know, liquefied it, I don't know what's going to happen with Hashwolf, but considering what just happened with Gerard, it's probably safe to say that Hashwolf is as good as is going too.
That's such a cop out though. I
It
wish.
is. It really is. I'm kind of mad about that when I think about it because I'm like, so nobody's going to get the chance to going to kill either one of these guys.
Fuck ruins
Mm-mm-mm.
everything.
They
Listen,
come,
Mr.
my lady, come,
Smokeweed,
come, my lady.
Mr. Smokeweed every day gotta ruin everything.
Yeah,
it just makes no sense. Like, let's get rid of all the other combatants. Level the playing field. Like, there's only two. Just like literally only two.
Really makes me question again what the point was of bringing all these people up here.
Exactly.
Just
If
to
you were
get
just,
them like one shot it off screen or something.
I'm trying to figure out exactly what was the important. What is the importance of the Stern Ritter at all? What was the importance of the Stern Ritter in this arc at all? Because I mean, you take
Because
the
every bad guy is obligated to have minions, so
well, I mean, let's
it's
think
the
about
same
this.
reason why, as powerful as Eisen was, why he still needed an army of people.
When you think about it, what's his name? Lie. He was, you know, he's still alive. He was pretty much in existence so that Nanao and Shinsui could show their Zanpakutos off. Even though it was probably the worst way of doing that. Um, I'm not entirely sure what Pernita's point was. Oh, to show that
Self-made,
Nemu was
a badass.
a badass, I guess. I don't know.
She was.
And then they had who else was in there? Uh, then they had what's his name? I'm trying to think who's the other one.
where?
But the other elite guard member. Oh, Askin was there so that Yorhar could show off his Bankai. Uh, and I think and Yoruichi could show off the fact that apparently she don't have a Bankai or
But a big
Zanpakuto
ass.
or need it, but I mean she get to kick your ass while looking while being naked. So there's that. um, and that Grimjaw's entire point of existing past the Arankar arc was for him to, put his claws through somebody's back and out the front of their chest. So there's that. And then I'm not really sure exactly what Gerard's point was because I'm not going to give him whatever that travesty of that happened with Kimpachi because that just I ain't got no words for that. Um, and then let's see, it did showcase the full capability of Hitsugaya. So there's that. Um, Unfortunately, we still got no Shinji, and obviously we are not going to have any opportunity to get any Shinji. I have not actually looked it up, but I pretty much can hazard a guess on exactly what we are missing and what we probably will not be seeing. And it's like bad. So while I look that up, anyone else's thoughts?
On the chapter, I think I've said my piece. It's just like I, for me, Ichigo. Okay, I guess I didn't say this part yet, but Bach taking away Ichigo's power and no one stopping is different from a typical Shonen route. That the main character is actually getting his ass beat and no one's coming in to save him or waking a mysterious power. So, um, I seeing like I was saying with Bach, I think the only way to beat him is the Soul King shtick. Uh, Drew Graham, it was okay. I did like a little bit of the development, I guess, between him and Udio a little bit, but other than that, it is kind of anticlimactic or ironic that he gets killed by the guy. He's like, I will serve him with everything. I am his right hand. And then comes a pillar of light. And it's like, fuck you. And it's like, wow, that's how much he thought of you, Drew Graham. That's how much he thought of you. Gave you the biggest, one of the biggest middle fingers of all time. And of course, and then Gerard, I do agree with people. It sucks. Everyone's like creating all these theories. How's Gerard going to be beat? You know, maybe they'll do that, and then all of a sudden it's no. He just gets hit with the Allswatch beam, and it's like, well, that's it. And it's like, well, I guess that's how he's got beaten. So yeah, I don't know what Gerard's point of being up there is. And then, yeah, I don't know. This chapter just felt like, I don't know, it just was a bizarre chapter in some ways. My main thing, like I said, is, yeah, I don't know. That's the problem. I mean, this chapter is just like, okay, Box Stool, OP as fuck. He just killed Gerard and Haswarch, and that's about it. Nothing else happened, really. And oh, he absorbed Ichigo's power, of course. The dads didn't come in and save him like some people were saying. So,
Well, I knew that wasn't going to happen. But after looking at this, we do not obviously have Ukitake. We don't have no Shikai from Iba. We don't have anything from Ashiro.
well, that's because Iba's part of the Men's Shimigami Association. He's always getting fucked over.
No Zanpakuto from Yoruichi, obviously.
We didn't get to see Ishin's Bonkai.
No. No possible, maybe sort of Bankai that was hinted at from Shuhei. Nothing from Shinji. No Bankai from Shinji. No Bankai from Love. So just kind of like got boned on all of those for no apparent reason. For no apparent reason.
Maybe Kubo will make a data book that will just say it all or some shit. I don't know.
Well, good luck with that. Because the last time he made a dad book, he didn't even dang have it translated into English.
I know. I was saying that to myself. I'm like, I'm like, when the fuck is this thing going to be translated? So, go figure.
Anyone else got anything else to say about this chapter, or?
I guess I'll say my piece on it then. This one, the main thing that I liked about it was stuff with Hashwalth and Udiu I thought was good. Hashwalth, I think this just kind of reinforces my opinion that Hashwalth probably would have made a better villain than Bach. Like, he's not the same generic "fwahahaha, I'm so evil" mustache twirly nonsense that we're getting from Bach. Like,
you know, the thing that you made me realize is that I look at Bach and I think of the bowler hat man from Meet the Robinsons.
Yeah. The wee boy with the baseball bat, like, you ruined my life. I didn't get any sleep.
So he's so mad, then he tries to like go back in time and like take the time machine so he can take over the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what Dagobah reminds me of. Like,
It's some the
yeah,
dinosaur.
that's the type of evil villain he is. Something that you would see in Despicable Me.
Yeah.
like, like I'm not scared of him. I don't think he's ultimate evil. And there's actual villains that have existed in manga where I've read, and I'm like, okay, this guy is fucked up, and everything about is fucked up, and he's evil, and he's a monster, and oh, I just hate him, and I can't stand him or whatever. But I'm just annoyed by Bach. He's an annoying villain. He's not, you know. Um, Whereas I think Hashwolf, I don't know. I don't think he has enough of a personality, and of course, he obviously is not given any actual motivations that are his own. So, and the motivations that Kubo has given Bach are very like almost non-existent and very like what's the word I'd be looking for? Superficial. I'm not seeing a driving force behind doing what he's doing, besides the fact that he might be utterly insane, but not insane in the way, not beautifully insane in the way that Joker is insane. It's like more like, oh my God, why don't this guy just shut up? It's like a guy who's talking to himself in the line at a Starbucks, like kind of like crazy, like oh, I'm gonna take over the world and I'm gonna kill you all. And I'm like, okay, dude, move out the way so I can get my frappuccino. Like, but yeah, that's basically my gist of it. But yeah, that's what Future made me think of when he said that.
You know what I've basically realized at this point. You know who Bach really is? He's Apocalypse. That's who he is. Like, no. Think about it. Think about it. Like the millennia old, like first, like creator of the first member of this different species. He has like these 4 direct followers, and he gives other people power. And like I was watching the new X-Men movie recently, and like Apocalypse in it, he is almost exactly like what I would imagine Bach would be like in film form, like just endless talking. Just like endless profound talking without really saying anything. So I'm thinking that like it's like the same guy basically, just born in a different world or something, but I don't know. Just hello?
Hello, I'm still here. Who else? Did other people die?
No, just like everything just got like real quiet for.
Sorry, I am literally dozing on and off. I'm so sorry. But yeah. Is that you? Are you done? Or I thought you were.
I still had a couple of things. Like,
Go ahead then. Go ahead. I didn't realize you were finished, and then it just went very quiet, and then you were like, "Hello," and I was like, "No, we're still here."
yeah, but other than like all this stuff with Hashwolf and all them, and Buck's usual talkathon, well, like with Gerard and Hashwolf, I gotta agree that did feel like a kind of like easy way out. Like,
Yeah.
don't like after all that time of like Gerard just kept getting back up after being, it seemed like finally killed. Now he just gets like a cheap death like this, and it's like, so what was the point of just bringing him back so many times if you were just gonna kill him like that? So,
Yeah.
and I honestly hope that this doesn't like directly kill Hashwolf without like seeing anything else from him, at least in terms of like not just like powers, but maybe just a little bit more of personality or something. Like if this is what like if this like directly kills him without like anything else, I'm gonna be pissed. Like because that would be, I feel, would be like such a waste
Yeah.
at this point.
I mean, I can see where like his big speech is coming from. Like, oh, like he's sitting there chastising Uriel, going like, You got nothing out of being friends with Ichigo and all that thing," and like so I'm wondering if he's trying to correlate it to himself. Is that why he abandoned Basby and went for
Juju Man and stuff. So not like, is that the reason? Like, but I would prefer a bit more of a reason there. Kind of get a bit more explanation rather than, oh, but he gave you so much. Yay, whoopee doo. He gave you a gift that he can take away and take your life away at any second. You should be friends with him. No, sort of thing. I just find that weird. The big speech thing. But I just really would like, I hope he's not dead. I would like a bit more kind of like his flashback on the feelings sort of things, because we got Basby for some odd reason. Like, he's so important. But yeah, but like him kind of like, oh, this is why I did this.
Yeah, I honestly think that we need at least a little bit more from Hashwalth, and like it's kind of annoying enough that this is what killed Gerard, but if this like directly kills Hashwalth, then I'm gonna be like majorly disappointed, because I feel like despite the fact that he's been Bach's like right hand man, he hasn't really been featured enough in this arc, really. Like, I know we got that flashback arc with Basby and all that, but I feel like for a guy who's like right hand to the main antagonist, that he hasn't really gotten as much, I guess, screen time as you would imagine.
Yeah,
So,
like he did a lot of talking in the initial invasions and stuff, and now it's like, sorry, I forgot he existed.
so like, if this is like really like the end for Hashwalth, then I think that would just be like a major waste, really.
Yeah, it doesn't remind you of when Aizen stabbed Haribel, like, I don't need you anymore. It's like, oh, great. Good.
Yeah, like what Sal was saying earlier about like a lot of the stuff in this arc is really similar to like stuff that happened in previous arcs. Like we got Bach backstabbing all of his followers, being like, "I'm so powerful, I don't need you anymore," and then he just steps into a portal. Like we've been over this already. Like,
Yeah. It just kind of feels a bit on repeat, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's just missed opportunities all over the place. I mean, I've echoed this many times before that there are significant issues that I have with this arc, with a lot of the characters in this arc, with the way that characters that we've known for years are being portrayed now, acting differently than they normally would, as and in certain circumstances, and like how the ball has been dropped on like various fronts, like like I remember when Soifon's Bankai was shown, and it was just like, what how does what does that have to do with anything? That doesn't even make any sense. And how does that correlate to her Shikai? And then it's kind of like this situation where I felt like, okay, he is not even trying, or he's just really losing his knack for doing this, because I think he's running out of Bankai ideas. And then later on down the line, you see, oh no, he hasn't. But then it's just like, it feels like he has, because there are people who have Bankai, or should, who are known to have Bankai or possible Bankai or whatever, and he has given them nothing. But he
Yeah.
was so quick to rush Zaraki into a Bankai after what, a day or two of him knowing what his Shikai name is. Like, come on. It's like he's not even, it just feels like he's just really not putting any effort into this, because it's the daggone ending arc. And now it feels like he's not, he doesn't know how to daggone end it. Like, the writing has stopped. He doesn't know how to do it. I mean, let's be honest. That is a very real possibility. This is the first daggone series where he has had a huge impact, and people were loving it, and it became popular, and he became famous, and so forth and so on, because Zombie Powder before that was like one and done kind of situation. So this is like the first time that he's ever actually, you know, achieved any daggone thing, and I don't really think that he has the experience behind him that'll allow him to daggone do the right to handle what was supposed to in my opinion, was supposed to happen in this arc that's supposed to be the ending and stuff like that. And you started to see the ball seriously drop when the Rancor arc went too long, and the Fullbring arc had nothing to do with Fullbring really. I mean, Fullbring was a kind of like a vehicle just for a reason to have something to say, something to talk about while coming up with a way to get Ichigo's powers. Everything else was kind of left to the wayside. Kugo's story didn't make any sense. His powers didn't make any sense. Fullbring itself was kind of like irrelevant, kind of like, Chad had no role, even though it was supposed to be centered around him, kind of like how this Quincy arc, Yuryu had like literally no role in it until like a couple of chapters ago. Like, it's like, what the hell's going on? So it's just like a really drop ball on the potential of what could have been something great. I mean, I look at it and I think from my personal perspective that if I had been writing something like this, that I could have did this, that, and the other thing. Obviously, he knows better because he's the creator, but I just don't feel like he's, you know, putting that stuff, articulating that stuff the way that it could go out awesome. So that's how I basically feel about it.
Hi. I'm back. Guys? What the fuck?
Everybody alive?
I'm here.
Okay.
If it matters.
Wow. Yeah, I was like, so where's
I had
future
dreams.
son in 45?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Actually, where are they? Because I thought the podcast was still going on. I'm still right here. Okay. Great.
I don't know if son is still alive.
Oh, great.
I don't know where 45 is.
I
But
don't think so.
yeah, I was just going into my rant about how I just
I
don't.
was curious about your opinion on this chapter because you weren't active at all yesterday. And you do.
No, I was getting some much drama-free.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, get off that Verizon.
No, sorry, I was on the. I accidentally muted my mic. I didn't even realize it.
Okay, well, you're back now. We gotta find out what happened to son. Um, no, basically, I was just giving them a whole rundown of my issues, as I've said previously before with this arc, and how I felt like there was a lot of missed opportunities and balls being being dropped here in this particular arc, and I don't like the way that certain characters were portrayed in certain situations, and how all this seems kind of like a rush. Like, what was the purpose of the elite guard coming up there? At least two or three of them had a purpose. I mean, at least, yeah, no, about two of them had a purpose. And, the only thing that Pernita didn't really have so much of a purpose besides, showcasing the Moo, and then and giving a little bit of purpose to character to Miori, whereas Gerard, he's pretty much just got wiped out, and it was and we all felt like that was a cop out. And Future was saying that if the same thing happened to Hashwolf, he's going to be pretty pissed off. And I said, this is like kind of par for the course because Bleach is Kubo's first real successful work, and I'm not entirely sure that he has, my personal opinion, that has the experience or the knowledge of how to properly end it because he's never had to end a series before. And obviously he knows better than me, but I felt like there were certain things that could have been done better to make this thing awesome, and it just everything in this arc, as some people have suggested on the blogs and stuff, seems like a rehash of previous arcs. What was the point of, Box sucking up all of Ichigo's power and then opening the portal and walking through? I'm like, why did you go anywhere? What was the point of that? And then it kind of like echoes back to what Aizen did. Or, oh, I don't need you anymore, so you're dead. Screw you guys and stuff like that, which is the same thing Aizen did when, with Hannibal and stuff like that. So I mean, is it like echoing back to a whole lot of things? And it's just like missed opportunities. We won't be seeing no Yukataki Bankai. We won't be seeing no possible Shuhei Bankai. We won't be seeing Love or Shinji's and stuff like that because all the combatants are pretty much out. And all this left is Bach, and who's left? Ichigo and Renji and what's her name and stuff like that, and maybe Yuryu. But it's just like, I just felt like this was like a culmination to a very bad start to an ending. So that was my critique on it as far as how far that went.
Okay, well, is Sun back yet? Can't tell. I'm on the phone.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I am curious. How many chapters do you think this arc has left? Because that's been a talking point with because of the color page is like, oh, only blank chapters to go, and people are like, oh, what is it? Is it 20 or 30 or 80? Like, and people are thinking that you might be trying to end this year, which is rushing like hell.
We actually touched on that earlier. As I've always said, I thought it was going to be 700, but now I'm feeling, considering how he goes with pace and stuff like that, where he'll have 16 pages of either fighting and not a lot of talking, or talking and not a lot of fighting, and rarely both going on. And how he kind of likes to draw things out, which is essentially what he did in this last chapter. He set up a scenario for it to be drawn out. Is that it might go a little bit past 700, but not too far.
I honestly hope that, like, if he isn't trying to go for 700 exactly, because Naruto did that and then it was abysmal. Like the second last chapter was just like frames of plot progression with no dialogue, just like
Yeah.
being thrown in there so it would all work out. Like, it was bull fucking shit.
But see, this goes back to my initial point: is does he have the foreknowledge or awareness, or whatever you want to call it, to make the right decision there and not do that, not make that mistake? And I don't know that he does personally, but that's my personal take on it. Because like I said, this is his first successful project. Like, he, I don't, anything that he does at this point is essentially winging it, because it's not like he's done it before. And I was just really like disappointed in like the setup that this arc kind of like perpetuated. I mean, I have a general dislike of, like I was telling them earlier, I had a general dislike of of Bach, because I don't fear him as a villain. I don't think, oh, he's evil, or I'm scared of him, or I feel this type of way about him. I just kind of feel him as a annoying kind of jerk, as opposed to an evil villain. And I've read many a manga where I'm like, I couldn't even I had a problem reading it because I disliked the daggone freaking antagonist so bad.
I don't understand what his justifications are. Like, why is he doing that?
Yeah, the justifications I felt, and before you jumped on, I'll just reiterate them for you because you didn't hear them. But the justifications that he has for doing what he does not make any sense. They're very, and I don't know what Kubo was getting at with this, because they're very shallow. They don't have any rhyme or reason to them, and it's not like he's crazy like the Joker, which is like always portrayed very intelligently and with a kind of hidden purpose behind it. There's none of
just
that.
Being evil for like evil's sake is
and it falls short because it just doesn't have a purpose to it. So you're like, why? the evil part of it is kind of like, okay, you're being overly evil in a situation that normally doesn't require it, because, like I said before, when we were talking about the Soul King, in my view, I don't think the Soul King's good or evil. I think it's a very neutral concept. It is just because it is. It has a purpose, and that's what it does. And the same thing with the Soul Reapers. They're not really Shinigami are not really evil or good or nothing like that. They're very pretty much neutral. They have a job to do and they do it. The whole
Mhm.
concept of this whole thing with evil came into play when you introduced even the Hollows are pretty much creatures of nature. They are negative aspects daggone being, and those negative aspects influence what they are. The Quincy don't have a real purpose. It's like they're humans and they're not. And you were given this idea that, oh, they wanted to protect their family and friends, so they developed these powers to fight hollows. But then now all that's contradicted, and now you're sitting there thinking, okay, so what's the purpose? And if everything is basically based on what Bach is about, then they have no real daggone purpose. And their whole concept is that they're a bunch of, and you can tell by their personalities, is that they don't have any righteousness to them. They're just a bunch of fanatics following this crazy daggone guy who's just evil for the sake of being evil, but he's not even believable in the role. It's
Mhm.
like, it just lacks substance.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm looking too much into it because, once again, this is a shonen manga that's made for a certain age group of people, and you don't want to get too deep. But I feel like there have been shonen manga that, shonen manga that have skirted the edge, and I don't want to put too fine of a daggone dress on it, because what I always refer back to when I say stuff like that.
Mhm.
The
No.
show that isn't a show at all. You mean?
Yeah, but the point is that, once again, take that particular manga into account. There was substance behind the characters. There was reasonings behind why they did what they did, and there was reasons why, this is a level of evil that, in Full Metal Alchemist, the level of evil that Father had was based on his own inadequacies and his personal feelings and stuff like that. Like, there's a drive behind it. And everybody had their
Yeah.
own personalities, and everybody had their own goals and their own drives. And I mean, you can look at, the way greed felt, or the way envy felt, or, and get a sense of, like, okay, everybody has, a certain stake in what's going on, or feeling about what's going on, and they all embody the exact things that they represent, as far as the homunculus representing the seven deadly sins.
Mhm.
And then Father, he was just petty and jealous and all those things, even after he discarded those concepts into other entities and stuff like that. You don't have any of that with Bach. He is a blank slate of everything you're probably supposed to hate about somebody, but you really just can't, because I can't help but find him annoying. Although the long-winded speeches, which is another concept that Kubo created when he did Aizen and stuff like that. But even Aizen is more likable of a character than Bach is, because at least Aizen had a reason for doing what he did. At least Eisen had, a specific goal in mind because of the way he thought. The question is, the very disconnect that happens with that is that, even then, this is where Kubo falls short, in my opinion, because even then, when you find that out about Eisen, it's just not enough. His reasonings. Oh, there's nobody sitting on a throne, and the Soul King's an abomination, and all this other stuff, and everything is just supposition. Like, Ichigo, I feel that the reason why Aizen did this and did that, because he was lonely, because he was so powerful, which kind of doesn't hold weight, because there's a lot of powerful Shinigami,
Yeah.
and it kind of doesn't make any sense. It's just like, it was kind of like a whole lot of things tacked on to try to give it purpose and make sense, and it just kind of fell short for me. So, but even still, I like Aizen as a antagonist rather than Bach, and I would, and then the overpowering made what happened with Aizen seem like child's play. Like, it was like, what was the purpose of that? Why did it have to go that far for you to empower this guy so daggone much to the point? It's like main reason why I feel like Heroes failed as a series is because you had one guy who was a serial killer going around killing people, stealing their powers, and every time he got more and more powerful. And then you had another guy who had, a much he could absorb people's powers, and he was the only one obviously powerful enough to fight him. And then he did, and he won, and you had the opportunity of killing serial killer off, and you didn't. You kept him alive. You retemplated him, so he had to pretty much start over from scratch, and then you took the daggone only person who could stop him and took his powers away and made him pretty much on the same level as every daggone body else, while you kept allowing this daggone serial killer to go around, kill people, and take their powers with no stop in sight. Like, and that was pretty much just the snowball to downhill for me. So that's basically my issue with like this arc, with the story, with Bach, and then this chapter that just came out kind of cemented in my mind that I was correct for feeling the way that I felt. So I don't know. What was your take on it?
I just don't understand the whole I'm going to destroy the world. Wahaha. Aren't you part of the world? Don't you exist? Kind
No,
of thing.
not according to Bach. Remember, he's Ichigo's dad, so no, he doesn't exist in Ward. Son, where you been at?
Oh yeah, sorry, where have I been? Sleeping. But yeah, so are we done then, or is everyone got their say? Does everyone feel that they have had their say on this? Because I will admit I have dozed off at certain points. I'm very sorry.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.